Okay, hello and welcome to the fourth workshop. This is currently week 6, I believe, and today we will be going over dialogue. So if those of you who were here last quarter, you might remember we did a workshop on dialogue. And so we're going to just quickly go over some of the main points from that workshop so that you guys who maybe weren't there can review. So dialogue, you kind of know what it is. It's when, like, say, a character's talking to another character, right? If you've done more traditional writing, you've worked with dialogue all over the place. For video game development, and probably this translates to traditional writing as well, dialogue can be a really good tool for world building and letting us know more about the character that's maybe talking or receiving, as well as perhaps guiding the player forwards. So telling the player what to do, where to go next, right? So it really benefits us to take a look at what we can use it for and get practice using it. It's a really big part of writing in games. So in a recent, well, a few years ago, we had Game Developers Week as an event that this club does, and we'll be doing that in spring. We have a lot of guest speakers come, and about, I want to say 2 years ago, we had this writer come in. He worked on, I believe, Horizon Zero Dawn, among other games. His name eludes me in its entirety. I think it's Gavin something Jurgens-Furier or something. Don't remember the company name. In any case, he came to give a talk about dialogue. And one of the points that he made was this. Dialogue that we try to make in our games should follow these 3 points. It should try to be useful, short, and interesting. And so a challenge for us writers is to try to balance between these 3 points, because well, if it's too short, maybe it's not as useful, or it's really long, but it's interesting, but the player has to go through a ton of work to read through it. So we want to try to find the balance here. So really quick, well, why should our dialogue be short? Things to consider in our game dev space is technical constraints. We oftentimes have very limited space as to what text can appear on screen or how much time we have to dedicate to dialogue. So for example, card games. If we're working with card games, oftentimes our physical space for written text, written word, is very small. So in these spaces, you might not see a lot of dialogue per se, but it benefits us to be succinct. Player interest. If you have rambling and just text that keeps on going and going, the player might lose interest in what you're trying to get across. So for that reason, it's good to keep our dialogue short and to the point. And also, succinct, effective writing is just good practice. It encourages very deliberate writing and strong word choice. So, that was our review. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me at any time. A lot of these notes are already posted on our resource documents. But today, we're going to be doing a bunch of dialogue exercises. So, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be running through a bunch of prompts and writing some dialogue for them. So how this will work is I'm going to show a prompt on the screen for a few minutes, and then I want you guys to try to write a few lines of dialogue. The characters involved, the environment, it's all up to you. Do whatever you want with it. But you want to try to hit these 3 points, and that is guiding the player to do something. Maybe it's a task that you might see in a game, such as moving to the end of this level, or capturing 5 gold coins, right? Aim to be succinct. Use as few words as necessary. Just try to get it down to a very brief statement. And also, try to tell us more about the characters that are involved. If you can, in some way, illustrate like who this character is that is speaking or being spoken to, either through what they say, how they say it, the response to what they say. Try to go for that. So we'll be going over several prompts, and so you guys are going to try to write dialogue for these different prompts. I say we'll be sharing them as we go, but I think instead we might just try to go through them really fast, and then come back together at the end. So some questions will be on these slides to help guide your thought. You don't need to answer them all. They're just there to help you sort of think through some things. But throughout your work, try to remember this triangle: useful, short, and interesting. Try to balance these 3 points, okay? So with that, let's get started. Our first prompt is going to be a quest giver needs the player to complete a quest. It involves going to a place and killing a thing. So I'm going to give you guys some time, try to write it pretty quickly, but like don't spend too much time, but try to put some thought to it of what is the quest giver saying? What is the player saying in response? Or what does the player say to get the quest giver's attention? Try to think through these questions. Maybe they'll help you come up with a response. And we'll be going through a lot of these towards the end. So once you guys are done working through this prompt, just sort of give me a funny look, let me know, and we'll go on to the next slide, which is another prompt. Again, the goal is to get through a bunch of these things, just trying to get to practice through some good old writing. And if anybody is watching either on stream or in the recorded session, this might be a bit boring for you. But all these prompts will be on screen for the duration, as long as everyone here in person is writing.
Play some elevator music.
I do not have elevator music queued up, unfortunately. Should have thought ahead. I should probably just throw it out there right now. I have, I believe, 10 prompts that I've just thrown together quickly. We might not get through all of them. I'll try to keep an eye on the clock so that we get through as many as we can while still having time to go through them at the end. And try to think of this in the context of a video game, just because we're the Video Game Development Club. That's not like a cold, hard restriction, but just sort of think it through as such. A lot of these prompts kind of lean towards gamey, tropey looking things in general, so hopefully that'll help you. But yeah. How's it going, guys? How are you feeling about, like, still going strong? Want more time on this prompt? I'm going to take silence as yes. Now remember, these aren't, you're not writing out like full scenes here, just a few pieces of dialogue to get a feel for these characters. And once you're feeling ready, feel free to say hello or something. Just, you guys can keep working on this prompt, but I'm going to actually start going over the next prompt so that you guys can keep going. Again, try to keep it quick, and just we're going to try to go through like quantity over, well, I don't want to say quality because we're trying to do this as good as we can. So here's the next prompt. The heroes have nearly escaped certain death. The slightly annoying comic relief tries to lighten the mood. So some things to think about. Who's the character that's this weird comic relief? How do the other characters in this situation respond? How do we convey that this character is slightly annoying or comic relief? And what happens next? What are the players going to do next in this game scene?
Because these tiles are touching.
I'm going to leave this one up for, I'm going to say, 3-ish minutes or so. So think quick.
because you need to drag this up.
Oh, and of course, feel free to stop me at any point if you need like more time on a certain prompt, or you want to revisit a prompt, or you have any questions or anything.
So these are pieces used for different
What?
things.
Yes, let me come over there and catch you up really quick.
So you,
So, today's
the actual tiles are basically
you can do last quarter's dialogue with copy
in
concepts
where
where
so now you can see it's up here. And so you want to specify the new title.
So,
You control V, so specify tiles. These are basically two different tiles that we have.
Did you bring some prefabs basically in this?
Yes. So yeah, that's a different thing. So yeah. So once we have these two, so let's say these are 1 and 2. So let's say this is a scene. So I'm just gonna set scenes. So you can try this. Yeah, you do fold something, just whatever you want. So this is our, we probably would want.
I think doing the math real quickly, about 3 minutes per prompt is enough to get through them all and still have time to discuss. No rush.
So this would be like tile set?
Yeah, this is our tile set scene, so this isn't actually usable as a tile set yet. 3.0 doesn't do tiles very intuitively. You need to go in the scene in the top left. Convert to tile set. And then this would probably be in like a
Part of me was like, hey, I should tag along in this exercise and do this with everyone else as we go. I'm realizing now, maybe I should have done my bit before having all of you guys do this, so that I can have something at the end and also sort of keep track of how things are going on in the action of.
And you need to specify .tres. It's a little better in the next version.
Alright, so I'm gonna get ready to hit up prompt number 3. Yeah, we're kind of going through this really fast, so just try to get going as much as you can. And don't worry if you don't finish, it's all good.
So now
It's all practice.
because we're doing a 2D scene.
Okay, so prompt 3. The player has just landed in a brand new environment, totally new and unlike any they or the characters have encountered before. What is the goal in this new environment? Or how do the characters react to this new place that they've found? What do they see? What do the players see? Is there a difference? And where do they go next? Some things to think about in prompt number 3.
So yeah, in this tile set, we just load.
And again, we'll be giving this one about 3-ish minutes, so think through it pretty quick, do some writing, and hopefully we'll be ready to share later on.
So now you know what's there, but you need to specify the cell size, which is 32 by 32.
Making a very elongated joke. So yeah, I see. That's cool. When we actually get it done, it's pretty easy.
And then if you want to add something to it, so that's nice.
prompt in just a bit. Just a heads up.
Why are you so fast?
I know, it's a challenge here. We're trying to go pretty fast. And I guess if you wanted to keep going on one prompt, you don't have to stay with us the entire time, right? If there's one that you really liked, you can keep writing for it.
You don't have to say. You don't have to say.
I'm going to post these all in the Discord later, so you can watch them at your leisure as well, or look at them, and write for them as well.
No,
Okay, well, for those of you who are ready to move on, I'm going to start up prompt number 4. This one's a kind of fun one, I think. So, a shopkeeper is making a deal with a player. There's a dragon in the background.
What?
So, what is the shopkeeper selling, or what are they buying? How invested is the player character in the deal? Does the shopkeeper know about the dragon? Is it supposed to be there? And as usual, we'll have about 3 minutes to complete this prompt, or just 3 minutes with this one on screen. I think I'm going to fetch my charging cable as well.
You would have to have a new tab. Okay, so if you just duplicate. Wow, that's so nice though. So if you just duplicate the time map, and then you okay, but also the time map's just holding this up, right? Yeah, because technically all this stuff is still it's already there. Right. So basically, I now have 2 different time maps specified. Okay. Position. So these are. So I'm going to time map here, and then over here I put the time map. And this one's in front of it because it's here.
Also, I apologize if any background noise of anything appears on stream. There's a lot of shuffling around in the lab.
Sorry.
Hopefully, this will be useful when we have a discussion, as I won't have to repeat everything that people say when we do get to the discussion part. Also, because we're moving at a very brisk pace, we will be moving on to prompt number 5 in just a bit. I'm very excited to hear what you guys are writing for all of these prompts.
Given the time limit, I'm only using one brain cell to come up with these.
Yeah, I just can't think of anything right now.
That's okay. I may have been a bit overzealous with the sheer number of prompts that I'm attempting to put on screen. Okay. Yeah. Alright, well, if anybody is actually doing the 3-minute prompt gauntlet, I'm going to move on to the next prompt, which is prompt number 5. A rift in time and space has opened up in the middle of the office. Again. What do the characters involved know about it? Does anything go into or out of the rift? How do the characters react? Or how do we know this has happened before?
Wait, do you want us to write like dialogue for every single prompt?
As many as you want to. If any stick out to you, you can. If you're like feeling it, you could try to very quickly come up with like 1 or 2 lines for each prompt as they come. There will be 5 more of these.
You are going very fast.
We are going super fast, and I have no reference because I am not partaking in this activity as we go. I can try to slow it down a little bit, and maybe we can skip out the last few prompts, if you'd like. Okay, so I'll give you guys 4-ish minutes for each prompt then. Or I guess I should ask, how many more prompts do you guys want? Do you want to just sort of like stick to 1 or 2, like go through the ones that we currently have, and I can cycle through those?
This one's in like a different environment than the other ones were.
Is it though? How do you know?
It depends on how you.
It depends on how you've decided to write your stories, exactly, your dialogue.
Luke, you and I were in the same frame the entire time, I think.
Mine's one continuous story.
That's entirely valid.
And so
That's
this one's
amazing.
this one's getting harder to do.
Great. Well then, some of the later prompts would have been even better for you.
Each title needs its own color. So.
Right, and if you want me to go back to any of the previous prompts, just let me know. You can say like generally what they were, rather than the number, because the number's probably not too easy to remember.
The player.
Yeah,
is-
just let me know.
Okay, so the player. I actually have a physical player with a rigid body, sprite under a rigid body like this.
Just because I'm curious, are there any of you that are sticking to about one prompt and like really liked that prompt, or are there any prompts that? No, I guess you're just all doing as many things. Cool.
So you just have a collision shift between to what the rigid body to the rigid body. So the collision shape is the shape. So in the shape, grab it, click on the shape.
Actually, I'm kind of curious, guys. Do you want to take a few minutes to go over what we've got so far and get a kind of idea of where we're going with these, or do you want to just keep going at these prompts as we have? So keep going. We have one. That sound good to everybody?
I'm doing capsule.
We can go through like one or two more and then go over them.
One or two more, and then recap for a bit. Okay. I'm gonna move on to prompt number 6 in a little bit. But take your time, please. Unless you're trying to go through every single one, which is also valid. You're all valid.
You can have it in front if you want to look at it. Aside from the sprite behind it.
Oh yeah, for those of you that caught last week's meeting, I beat Hades, at least as far as they let you get through in the early access. Delightful little thing at the end. Oh well, it's spoilers, I guess. Not really. They essentially play it off as, well, you beat everything there is to beat right now. We don't have anything else past you yet, so let's just say that Zagreus dies again. And then the game restarts.
Wait, is that like a text box or is it actually?
That's
like
the narrator, the voiceover.
It's actually,
like
oh,
the cool, classy voiceover is just like,
That's amazing.
we have nothing beyond this point, as such.
So
Let
are
us
they gonna,
just
like, are they
say
gonna keep
that-
that same like voice clip like at in the final game where it's just like
They
you
could.
beat it?
Yeah.
It's like so just like you died, I guess.
Yeah.
So I would do that.
Well, hopefully it's narrative games in early access.
No, well they already did.
What was that?
Or you could just not release narrative games in early access.
Also true.
Yeah, I think it's funny because like the voice, like the voice actors did a really good job on that one. Like from what what we saw, it was like that. It's funny.
Yeah, and you know, it was like the fully like eloquent, elevated language for the entire thing. It's like, let's say that our Prince Zagreus cruelly met an untimely end
This is
again.
obviously square.
Alright, prompt 6. The player character is trying to fix a something. There are many monsters present. Another character is remotely guiding the player character to fix the something. They are not impressed with the player character's progress. How would the player character react?
So it's gonna be
Does the second character know what difficulties the player character is facing? Do they have like a video feed, or magically can they see over the shoulder of our player character?
So then you can
And
just
what does the
do
player need to do next? Is there like a task or a quest or a goal?
drag it.
Do they need to defeat all the monsters before moving on? Or do they need to put the pin in the socket?
Get up on the high
Or do they need to get up on the Hydra's back?
Get up on the Hydra's back!
If you
Get up
drag
on the
it,
Hydra's
it's gonna
back!
drag the shoulder.
Get up on the Hydra's. No, what is that from?
It's from King Hearts.
This prompt just reminds me of that.
That's a strange thing to be fixing with something that's a giant monster, but you could take it that way if you wanted. So once again, this will be going for about 4-ish minutes? 4-ish minutes. And then we'll move on to the next prompt.
Do these automatically change or do these? No, they change automatically. So if you play.
Actually, I think I'd like to get through like 2 more prompts before the recap, just because I personally really enjoy prompt number 8.
Yeah.
Did you come up with all these?
Yep, I just pulled these up out of my head about 2 hours before this workshop.
This is the area that it's going to be looking at.
Oh,
You
that's
see this?
exactly what I got.
Right?
But
it works.
Before the camera.
2 minutes before.
Yes.
So I just put it under the rigid body.
True challenge mode, come up with them on the spot.
You're writing the next one as we finish it?
Yes. Yes, I am.
4 minutes.
I joked about prompt 8 already existing. Nope, I'm making it up. And it's gonna be good. No, I'm kidding. I have
So that's just gonna
I
be
have slides.
Okay. Oh, you have to make a card. It's a good camera.
All right, so 4 minutes is a lot less time than you'd think. We have 1 more minute before we switch to the next one.
So if you prepare, change where the player is, then it's gonna fall, basically. It's gonna fall over, actually. So you can change this to character, and that's gonna make it stay up all the time. It's on the play. Which is about itself.
Look at this.
So you should look at that body singularly. So that basically
Just gonna check something real quick.
physics system doesn't determine a position. So you have to manually do that. So to get farther you have to
Okay, so we're gonna head over to prompt 7. So, like a good story,
you can add
the action
scripts
rises and
to
falls.
any
I'd say that this
mode.
one is a little bit less
Made
interesting,
out of this one.
but still good.
There is
So,
there's a few
player character is
points.
running from point
So,
A to point B. A second character is on call with them, either magically or scientifically. Is the call magic? Science? Do we need to know? Where is the player character going?
This
Where are they
was
coming
the,
from?
I think the move.
Why are they going where they're
was
going?
done in Godot.
What is the relationship between the player character and the character on call?
Godot was
What is the
really-
player going to do when they arrive at point B? So once again, we'll have 4 minutes, then we'll take prompt 8,
There is, however,
and then we will reconvene and go over what we've got. And it doesn't have to be running necessarily, it could be any form of motion, like car, or
This is good.
flying broom, or a dragon, or a giant caterpillar,
Or it's
or
D2.
teleportation.
That's
Although I
D2.
suppose it wouldn't really quite have the fun dynamic of slow travel if it's a teleporter. But it could be. You're welcome to take it however you
Takes a
will.
very long time to finish the
Teleport.
teleport.
Yeah, it takes as long to teleport as it does to walk at a slow pace.
Which just looks like a camera. It's cute. But yeah, this was just put together by the lead developer as a way to say, hey, we do 3D graphics. So if you want to do scripts, you add a script to your virtual body. And I usually have a scripts folder.
Okay, mic is back. We're on. Sorry if that clicking noise. You made it?
Oh, the mic was off when I asked that, so I didn't
Yeah,
stupid that.
yeah. the mic
It's
was
lucky.
on, so we didn't have to hear that
So-
hilarious question that had the
So
entire
this is
room
your
laughter.
ready, and this is your
That's something.
this is your start update.
No, but there's no way to know for sure.
So you can like uncomment this by selecting it.
So we have like 1 minute, and then we'll be going to prompt 8. After which
So
we will be
select
reconvening and
the
chatting
also press.
for the rest of the time.
Yeah. So yeah, so this is basically your
the prompt page on the screen. You guys are free to keep
Yeah,
working
so
on whatever
if
prompt
you
you're
look
currently
at
working on.
our script is
If we
of
have
type
time
rigid by
after
2D.
we
Okay.
discuss, we can always revisit
Hit
prompts
control
9 and 10.
and click on the rigid by 2D.
So, prompt
That's
8.
got the adaptation for it.
The player is getting an exposition
access to
dump
all
about the
these.
history of magic in this fantasy world. The
Immersion.
character giving the exposition also won't
fine.
shut up about their adorable familiar. How do we convey what we need to get across to the player without getting boring? What information does the player really need to hear here? How does the information relate to what the player needs to do next? Is there a quest that involves the history of magic
So if you
or
just
the adorable
hit
familiar?
play.
In what other
should
ways do we
start.
Wait,
present
and I
whatever
don't have
information
to-
is being
You're kidding
dumped
me.
upon the player in this
Yeah, it's just
exposition
going
dump?
Oh, well,
And
it was on the
are there
ground.
any ways that we could have the history of magic be relevant information
So
to
if
the
you
player,
go-
where they would want
if
to
you
hear
hit 100 and it's-
about all this world building bits of, well, what is a history of magic? So once again,
So
4
is
minutes or
mine
so
getting
for this
stuck
one,
on the-
and then we will reconvene
If
and
you're going
talk.
too slow, you might get stuck on the
Or
ground.
why does he get stuck here?
Because there's tiles and it's getting stuck. But we're not actually going to move moving this way anyway.
Communication without dialogue is an effective skill to have. That's not part of the workshop, that was in section. Oh, watch the scooter. Sure did.
So you basically just do the logic here. Your input is in project settings input map.
So is this velocity or is this actually like player X?
This is velocity. Your position is just position. So your position S plus is 1 or 100 or whatever. And then that's going to do that. You can also multiply that by delta, which is the same as
So let's
delta 2.
go to add something here for key input.
Yes, so that's what I was going to talk about, is in project settings.
Is it what's here right there?
Input map. And this is your input manager.
Okay.
So let's say you wanted to add an action for move right. So you type it up here. Just add it. And so then you would add a key assigned to it. So you just hit the plus. So let's just say D. D. And then you can do the same for your left.
So
It's very similar to you.
does he have a pen?
Yeah.
Why don't
You
you
usually just specify keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. That's bad practice.
What is it?
So here we can do if
Alright, so we'll be finishing up here in just a bit.
going back to the script.
So get ready to finish up whatever lines of dialogue you're working on here, and we will get ready to meet back up.
So input is your class that deals with all of your input. So you can basically search for input up here in the classes. And that's going to give you the input documentation. So that's good for
Okay,
reference.
so,
And what we want is
Just for fun, I'm going to quickly
Use
go
action
through
plus.
prompts 9 and 10, just as little spoilers, what we could get back to if we have time. Prompt 9. The player character approaches
so
final
that's-
boss.
So
It's going to be flashy and
yeah,
intense and a
it
cool
takes,
fight.
string
What
of
evil
actions.
things has this boss
And
done?
yeah.
Why does the player care? Why does the player character care?
Use action.
What types of attacks can we expect from the boss?
Is-
How does the boss react to the player character and their past actions? Whatever happened in the whole game that we did not pay attention to. Prompt 10. A character has a crush on the player character. How does the character approach the player character? How does the player character react? How does the player react? And what happens next, mechanically speaking, in the game? Just that's all the prompts that I had. Surprise. If you wanted more prompts, you can probably find some online. Just think of them in a game dev sense, or in a game type of thing.
So
Yeah.
we shouldn't be moving
Now, let's
positions,
go
so
and
if you just set the
talk about
velocity,
what we wrote. So,
you can
do we want to do this by,
accelerate.
does anybody want to
Yeah,
share what they
okay.
have? Are there any prompts that you guys
So-
particularly enjoyed that you want to
Actually,
hear
it
from?
is very-
And this will require some input from you guys. You don't have to share if you don't want to, but I will need you to help me pick how we're going to go about this.
Start at number 1 and anyone who's done that one.
Okay, so we're going to start at prompts number 1. Does anyone want to share the dialogue that they wrote for prompts number 1? Yes.
Okay, quest giver. The mission I need you to do now is to cross the greater Ephon Bridge and to slay the Boulder Cat. So the same as last time. Nay, the Boulder Cat is 0.8% stronger than the Elder Cat. Quest taker. And I'm 12% more bored than I was when I got here.
Interesting. Nice. I like the sort of meta take you took on it. I feel like if you're trying, you could make it shorter or more succinct, but you also had some really fun
So it's a way
meta
to
jokes.
do frame rate independence. So it's just
So
going to
yeah,
do
cool. Does anyone else want to share what they have for this prompt?
units per second instead of
If
units
not,
per
we can
frame.
move on.
Okay.
So now if you run that,
Alright, so I'm going to move on to prompt number 2. Does anyone want to share for prompt number 2? We have the hero's deal is named from death. We have an annoying character. Yes, yes, Hubert.
Gunter kicked the traveler's body as it lay with a spike to it, spikes that had nearly gotten our heroes. Well, I guess it takes a sharp mind to outwit these traps.
Oh,
No
boy.
one laughed. Oh, not even a cutting remark from Brenda? Brenda said nothing but walked towards the exit, clutching the idol that they had stolen. Fine, I get the point.
Oh, that hurts. Just for the point, I'm curious. Read only the dialogue bits to us. I'm curious what happens.
Well, I guess it takes a sharp mind to outwit these traps. Oh, not even a cutting remark from Brenda? Fine, I get the point.
Nice, nice. So, using puns is a very interesting way to make our character annoying. Yeah, and it almost, because of the way that you did those dialogue lines, even without the like in-between text, we kind of have an idea of how those jokes were received, which was another pun, another joke of no one? No one? Okay. So yeah, that's the neat thing you did there. I like that. Did anyone else want to share for this
so
one?
did you set the friction
Back
there?
there, yes.
It's on the which
It's a good thing we weren't dragging on that fight. For fuck's sake, Carlisle, enough with the puns. Don't get so heated, Ian. We made it out alive. I swear to God, when we get back to town, I'm going to toss you out of the capital's tallest tower.
Great. So you've got more puns, an accent, and also you've got an idea where we're going next, which is the tallest tower of the city, or the town. Nice. Maybe it's not clear as like a quest marker if it were an RPG. If we're going to the top of the tower to turn in this quest, I'm going to throw you off right then and there. You wouldn't have your characters explicitly say, let's go turn in this quest. But that's a fun one, where it does give us a point of direction to go to, as well as more puns, because we can never have enough puns in our games, right? Alright, did anyone else want to share? Do we want to move on? How are we feeling?
I was going through these rapid fire modes,
Yeah.
so the only thing I got down for this one is someone saying, this is the pits, and I didn't have the context
That
for it.
works, because in the right circumstances, that's all you would need. Because like one type of character would just go and say, this is the pits. Most people don't say that, so it kind of is like, well, might give us an idea of, well, who would be saying this? Which is also good. Again,
So
it hits
if
the
the
part,
player goes
tells us about
outside
the
of
character
this,
saying.
it's going to drag the
Who says
character.
this is the pits? Alright, prompt 3.
You can disable that by making it fixed
Just landed in a brand new environment. So if we had like a fully dedicated art
So
team
if we do that,
making like a full-on world to
then it's
explore,
gonna
what would our
basically
characters be
have
saying in this new world that they've discovered?
Okay.
Do we have any
You can
takers? Anybody
smooth
who wrote for this one that wants to share? If not, we
smooth
can
it.
keep moving.
So that's automatic smoothing.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to prompt number 4. If you guys change your mind and want to come back to these ones, just let me know. Prompt 4. A shopkeeper is making a deal with the player. This dragon. Anyone want to share for this prompt?
I got it.
Yes.
So it's like, wait, do you want me to like say like the background first or just the dialogue?
I want you to say just the dialogue first, and then you can read everything if you made a scene. And try to speak up so we can maybe pick it up on mic.
How do I snap it to?
You seem nervous, sir. Is something the matter?
Don't worry yourself about my pet here. He only eats thieves and swindlers. Pleasure doing business with you. Forgive me for being presumptuous, but this trade seems suspicious. I would hate to have my dear Fafnir have a gentleman like you for breakfast. You, of course, can prove your innocence, can't you?
Okay, so it almost sounds like we've got like a truth or lie sort of mechanic in this barter deal of sorts. It's not going to be barter. In any case, it was a little hard to tell who was saying what just because you were reading it.
It's the same guy.
It's the same guy. Oh, it's all from the same character. Okay.
Yeah, but if like there's like a pause because like
yeah, I was having a hard time following that, but that was just me.
So it's a monologue.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha. I did like sort of Guardian Dragon. That's fun. It's very intimidating. It would definitely be quite a scene in a game. Like, it definitely set a shopkeeper apart, which is cool. Tells us about this character. He's had a deal or two with some people who might not have been the most fair with their prices, so he's ready for them. I like it.
I mean, do you want me to like say like the background context as to like
Please.
what I have in mind? So it's like the whole entire thing is that like he has like this blessed necklace or whatever that you need for like a quest item.
Oh, okay.
And there's a dragon behind him who's asleep, and it's like it's his pet. So player needs to get that necklace, but he needs to trade it for like another like really valuable like blessed item that he doesn't want to give away because he needs like all of them for whatever story reason that is. So he like has to give him like a fake one, but it's just like, hey, okay, here's the actual amulet. Yeah, alright, and bye.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
You've actually got like quite a cool character going on here because you've got like a merchant who's got a pet dragon who wants all the stuff.
This
so
is
they've
basically
got this sort of like greedy treasure trove sort of thing that parallels a dragon, right?
Also, the dragon
I
is
never
just
understood
like,
how fixed up it worked.
well, I mean, it doesn't really. It's just more of like, hey, shoplifting is bad,
Shoplifting is bad.
and swindling.
And swindling as well.
seem to be not.
All right. Any other takers for Pump 4? Yes.
Me?
Yep.
4.
This would be in the
Shopkeeper. Behold, my dragon-slaying bow. It can fell any beast. Only 90,000 gold. Egad, quest taker. Egad, what foul creature is this? It is no cat. How about 45,000?
from each other.
Ah, haggler. Let's make a deal. How about 70,000?
Okay. So there's a dragon in the background
So
and
if
he
you
wants to make
actually
the
click
deal
on the
faster
sprite,
so that you can slay the dragon.
Just like doesn't even care. He's just trying to sell a bow.
Oh, but it's a dragon slaying bow.
Yeah.
Okay. So my initial thought is like you would use dragon slaying bow to slay the dragon.
No, he's got a bow that can slay dragons, and he's trying to make a profit off of it. He doesn't care if the dragon kills him or anything. He's just got a dragon slaying bow.
Okay.
Trying to make some money. It may or may not work.
Interesting. So he's okay with dying as long as he gets money off.
I don't think he cares if he. I don't think the dragon. He's scared of the dragon. I think he's pretty sure the dragon is not going to hurt him.
It's probably
Okay.
there.
Because he's an important NPC.
Oh, okay. So he doesn't have like a death state. He
Yeah.
can't die. He's an immortal shopkeeper.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He'll come back later in the quest.
I see. So he's got the plot armor.
Yeah.
Is it for sale?
No.
Ah, dang it.
Would be cost quite a bit if it was.
Of course. All right. Anyone else for this spot? Yes.
No. I told you. 10 gold and no less.
Clearly, you haven't seen my friend.
Ha! Mean that, little fella? Say hello to Ginger.
Nice. So, so the dragon in this case would be the player's companion.
Familiar.
Yeah, and so the player is sort of getting a better deal out of this merchant by persuasion.
Intimidating it.
Yes, definitely.
But the shopkeeper has his own familiar
Oh, there's
that he
two
calls
familiars.
upon.
Oh, I see.
No, I'm
Interesting. So that would probably help to have some visual
This isn't
elements to follow along.
an
But
ideal situation.
it is hard
for me
just
to
by
know.
the dialogue alone to figure out what's going on. But that's always like a thing you can work on. Like if you wanted to have your dialogue try to tell everything or not, you don't need it to because we are practicing dialogue here, but video games are a very like a mixed sort of medium. We have audio, visuals, writing as well. So there's all sorts of good things to include. In the later prompt where I had exposition stuff, how else can we present these things? Art, audio, these are ways to present them. So it's good to consider this as well. Just want to make that.
It's kind of.
Does anyone else want to share for prompt 4? Or should we move on to prompt 5? Okay, we're going to move on to prop 5. A rift in time and space is open in the middle of the office again. What's up? Who's anyone want to share? Yeah.
Okay, you want me to just say the dialogue?
Yes, please.
Alright. Liam, have you seen my pencil? Oh, John, what? The hole is up again. Again? Well, at least we can try getting some stuff back. Keys, mine. Coffee mug, mine. And notebook, mine! Mine, don't open it! Mine, that's mine. That's it.
Great. I love it. Definitely have a lot of character with whose stuff belongs to who, and the objects that they own tell us a lot about them. Although it's in an office, it's a lot of pencil stuff. I like what you did with that stuff.
I
Anyone
don't
else?
know. It's really short.
Yeah, great. That's fine.
Damn it, Itai, again?
Oh no.
We're trying to focus here. We get it, okay? You have warp powers. Stop rubbing it in. That's it.
All right. Interesting. For those of you that don't know, Itai is our president.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has warp powers?
What in the hell? What? Oh, that. It's the interdimensional portal. Portal to where? It changes. Sometimes future, sometimes past. Does anything ever come out? God, I hope not.
Yeah, so that's
Nice.
just,
I like it.
so
Definitely a fun little bit to have there.
I'll change it to 100%.
Just curious, would you guys be able to fit this into like a game situation, like with your lines that you've got? Could you think
So,
of like
then
a
that
game
you're
that would
saying-
go with this, like mechanically?
Your timer
What would the player be doing in a game without a portal open?
on collision.
Killing all the stuff that he hoped
Just
didn't
gonna
come out, but
come out.
actually did.
Or what if they're inanimate objects, like notebooks and
I'm
pencils?
not sure why.
I like to imagine the player characters standing
Oh.
by while people are getting
Oh,
mundane
'cause
stuff out
it's
of the portal.
because
It's
before
like
it
waiting
was
for
like
something
reading
to
it.
kill.
A bullet hell
Something
shooter
else.
where it's like firing out pencils and coffee mugs at terminal velocity.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Like, why wouldn't it be there? 'Cause
You
it's
play
like
as
basic
the
buttons.
intern who always has to go into the rift and get all the stuff
Oh,
done.
that's great.
Yeah,
You're on a radio
Disposable
button.
Never mind,
intern,
I
I love it.
change
Great.
That's
All
a
right.
perspective I can get
You
behind.
wear a red shirt.
Exactly. Or a very prominent red tie. All right. Anyone else for this prompt, or should we move on? Okay, we're gonna move on to prompt number 6. Player character's trying to fix something. There are many monsters around. Someone else is bothering them. Who wants to share a scene, or not a scene, but dialogue for this? Yep.
No, this one goes there and that one goes there.
Yeah, I'm not having
My
an issue
sword
with
goes into the
it.
monster's face. When I'm done with that, I'll do what you say.
So
I lost
it.
it. Give me a second. No, they will keep spawning until you finish the task.
I'm getting the sense that you like your meta humor.
Yes, I was keeping in one
Oh,
thing the
Oh,
whole time
gotcha.
instead of restarting every single time.
I see. That does help.
So I kept a vein.
I see. Nice. I like the witty response in the midst of a lot of conflict, presumably,
Yeah.
by the person who's swinging a sword around. Yep.
Take off the panel. I'm trying, but if you haven't noticed, there are a few things going on. It's a panel. How hard is it to remove a panel? Look, you want to change places because I would gladly be sitting on my ass dictating rather than dealing with this shit.
Yeah, so this is fine for that.
Very good. I enjoy it as well. Yep.
Because you have a box. Okay. So in your
Okay. Yep.
collision
And if
check,
there's 3 wires,
you should
cut the
probably
first
not
black one.
just
Can't
change it
talk
into a box.
now. Gotta
you
run.
wanna
Come on,
kinda-
man. Do you want
I wanna
everyone to
test it
explode?
as-
That's a good point.
see if
Let me
it
just
is-
stop and be devoured by
Yeah.
aliens. Sass really isn't helping.
But
You know what
I'd
does
still
help?
have to-
Running. Ah!
Great.
What did your
Oh yeah, if any of you guys have any other input on anyone else's lines, feel free to chip in. It doesn't have to just be
probably bad?
like,
Let me see this.
yeah, it's good. And also, like, if you can think about it in terms of, like,
Is it
game
gonna save the
situations
capture
as
shot?
well,
No.
which we try to do here in
So
the
it
prompts.
was
but
like
feel free to throw some ideas out.
Play keep talking and nobody explodes while navigating a
That's the
maze.
first thing I thought of when I heard that
set the
from.
scale to 1.
Nice. Yep.
This one's pretty short.
Right.
No, you're not
And then
listening.
just
Oh my gosh, you know, the
stop
monsters
them.
are one thing,
Okay.
but this would be a heck of a lot easier if you weren't freaking colorblind.
Oh, wow.
Some try.
So we've got some great, like, relationship between the characters, and also, hey, character colorblind, good to know. Very silly. Alright, should we move on to the next prop?
Sure.
Cool. Okay, problem 7.
Cool.
We have
So should maybe
the player
add
is
a little
moving.
bit of friction there.
Player character is traveling from one
Yeah,
place
you
to
should
another.
really have to put friction again.
Someone's on call with them. What happens?
Friction. Where's friction?
Anyone want to share with
It's
us?
on the rigid body.
Get the hell out of my head. Not until you get to my castle and defeat me in epic battle. Then how about a shortcut? No way. You must first defeat all 26 of my great cats. Darn, I have a luncheon at 6. Sure we can't speed this up?
Nice. So if it were a game, we would know we have to apparently defeat a number of cats.
You can do whatever. Maybe too much though.
How would we
It's one by
justify the
default.
line about the player character having lunch at 6? 6? That's dinner.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
In the console games though,
Yeah.
like you can't really make the player.
When the time game about doing your normal college life,
I see.
and you got like to handle all this stuff, but you can also go off in different directions and deal with all sorts of fantastic creatures and battles and whatnot.
Interesting. I see.
So
Okay.
here's something we should
Anyone else for this problem?
Yeah.
Now, when you pass the statue of the man with gloves on his head, take a left. Dad, do you really think a level 7 wizard can defeat a minotaur? Of course not. That's why I have 6 more sons. Kidding, of course, my boy. I trained you from birth. It'll die of fright the second you enter the room.
Cold-blooded.
Oh, that's
probably do
a good
Excel,
humor
because
there.
you're
I'm showing that.
Okay. So, and then also, okay, so both.
All right, let's move on to the problem number 8. Exposition dump time. How did you guys
So,
justify your
What
exposition
makes
dumps?
this easier is if you
Did you try to make them
export these,
interesting? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's dialogue only?
Yep.
Alright. I'm so sorry about her. She doesn't know how to behave herself. What do you mean who? Can you see my adorable Miss Mittens? Wow, I guess I guess you're one of those new guys, huh? Those boring foreigners who can't do or see or hear anything fun. Well, I guess you should go over to that forest shrine if you want to change that. Hey, who knows? Maybe you'll get a cute little buddy to follow you around too. Not as cute as Miss Mittens, though. I mean, just look at her. Oh, wait.
Nice. So you've cut out like what the magic is or how it works, but you've gone straight to the
max function.
go to this place and you'll find out.
Yeah.
Nice.
I couldn't really get everything in the prompt.
No, you didn't have to. You did a
So
good
what-
job.
what
That was
you
a good
export
way
them
to do
for?
it.
Is then I
I
can
enjoyed
edit them
that.
in the editor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else?
So then I would.
Yes.
Okay.
The world was forged an eon ago, and the
So
first
that's,
creatures here were
200.
Dinder here's
Oh,
ancestors.
and then it's
Such a good little gentleman. Yes, I'm
It's just
sure
gonna
he
apply.
is. The birth of magic?
So
Yes,
something
right.
else you can do
The ancient gentleman.
is you see this remote.
All right. So in this case, the player is, for example,
Remote.
actively asking about
Go
this food
at the
magic,
play button.
and he is distracted from doing so by talking about the food magic, right?
It's
Nice.
click
Nice.
remote. Yeah.
Let's
so
see.
This is open.
If the player is being
this
distracted
you
from
can
what they need
Edit
to tell,
files. So if I
that
wanted
would
to,
probably make it harder to get
edit.
like the next like quest information across if it were that type of
and
game.
this is gonna change
So-
it.
Can you think of a way to circumvent that, or
That's so
to
funny.
say it's not even that type of game? Like, is there another way that, mechanically speaking, you could? It would make sense to have the character go on a tangent about their familiar well. You just asked
I think
about
it's
food
You
magic.
can click and drag to change
There's
it.
no right answers here, and I don't even remember everything you just said.
And then this will just.
Can you repeat the question?
No. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe the objective could be getting information out of this person, in which case them getting distracted would be
Oh, it
part
just
of
bounced
it.
again.
It would be kind of like a mini
Yeah,
game
it's gonna be
where you have to like
nonsense.
lead them back on track,
So
keep going back to the subject.
So it's a conversation tree game, but you don't actually want to know about what you've talked about in that tree. You're trying to get them in the direction of conversation, but
It's
asking them
it's
certain things.
resetting this for some
Possibly.
reason.
Possibly. No one knows. That's okay.
So-
I like the
Yeah,
idea.
doing it from the
Sort of choose your own adventure. choose your
here.
own hand.
So
Yes. Shoot your own cat.
so if I set 10.
So I
this
was
friction is
in
between
mine.
zero
I was
and
having this one connected to the previous one of you're going somewhere and
Plus,
there's a
the-
conversation
oh,
happening.
Okay.
And so
So if I just
in mine, it was while you're heading in a direction, he kind of just the person, the enemy who you're trying to fight, and the point of him talking is to make you want to beat him in the battle. Kind of just kept on talking annoyingly in the background, and so by the time you actually defeat him, he stops talking in your head. So the point is to just make him as annoying as possible.
If this is a game,
Yeah.
does the player have the option to shut him up?
Yes, they have
Okay.
the ability to turn off the volume.
Wait, like other teams?
No, like in the game.
Okay.
Because it doesn't. Oh,
Just check.
that's weird.
All right. Anyone else have anything else, or we're running out of time here? So we've hit a lot of good points here. You guys want to come up with one right now on the spot for
Okay, I guess that doesn't really
number
change.
9?
But
Actually, let's have some fun here. Does anyone want to improv this? Actually
Yes,
out?
100%.
Okay, we have one volunteer. Do we have another volunteer? We need 2 people, presumably. Okay, yes, we have 2 volunteers. Who wants to be the boss?
I'll be the boss.
Okay, we have
Sure.
the boss and the hero character. What do you guys say following this prompt? Go.
You killed my family. They were like family to me.
Can I root for the boss?
They were crushed by my mighty hammer, as will you be.
I will crush you with your hammer, and then I will eat you.
It's like twice the size of you. I don't think you can even carry it. Here, try.
I've been.
Scene! Okay, end of scene, end of scene. That was very funny, guys. Gosh, you guys have very distinctive senses of humor, and that scene was interesting to me how you kind of threw both of those in at the same time. Alright, with that, I think we're going to close up this workshop. Once again, I'll post these notes online, all these prompts. Great work today, guys. If you want more practice, just keep writing, guys. It's really a type of thing where you get better by doing. So, but again, like, great work today, guys. Thank you all for coming, and have a wonderful week. I'll see you guys not next week because I think we have Monday off soon. But if you want to talk about writing stuff, feel free to talk about writing stuff on the Discord. I'll probably be watching it. All right.
No, it's you killed my family. Better like that.